see.
Be entertaining. I agree.
It's 5:32. We'll open the Board of Health meeting November 15th. Per governor's language and the removal of the emergency order, the public is invited to attend board committee meetings in person or in real time via Zoom technology by clicking on the link that was provided on the agenda. This meeting will be recorded and will be posted to the town's YouTube. By participating in this meeting, you understand that the recording could contain your video or your audio.
Aye.
Okay. I move we approve the minutes that were provided for the May meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? In favor? Aye. So that's an error on the agenda because we had already approved the, oh wait, did we approve the October? No, we didn't.
So,
Okay, sorry, this is right then. Okay, so I would move that we approve
May and October.
May and October. So move,
Motion to-
second,
Yep, second.
all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so both of them are approved. Awesome. So we are up to date, as far as I know. So. That's good. Social media policy review and vote possible. So, the Board of Selectmen sent out a draft of a social media policy, which is basically Facebook.
Mhm.
And because, in 2020, March of 2020, I created a Board of Health Facebook page. But there's also like a Town of Oakham one, a library one, a Parks and Rec one, fire department, police department, all that. But no real rules or guidelines around them. So the Board of Selectmen is working on trying to create a policy that will go with it. They asked all the boards and committees, invited them to offer input on the proposed policy.
I read it. I didn't have any changes.
Okay.
Yeah, I read it too. Same.
The only thing that
Do we
I,
all have to sign it?
nope, not yet. It'll basically will relay to the Board of Selectmen that we had no recommendations or if we did. The only thing that I added on page 3, I put in a number 2 identification in social media posts where possible, if not obvious, who the individual posting on behalf of the town, office, board, committee, or department. Notate your initials at the end of any post where your identity is not obvious. So that was a something that I added. That because I try to do that when I post for the Board of Health, at least
Yeah.
my initials.
Transparency.
Yep. That way, if somebody sees it, they can go, oh, AL, that must be Aaron.
You know who to contact.
But everybody on the board has access to the page, so if for some reason something needed to be removed, well, actually in the policy, and according to a public meeting, you're really not supposed to remove any comments, only make, like if there's typos or something like that. Otherwise, it has to live there forever.
Okay.
Okay, so no concern with that recommendation I made about the notation of initials.
No.
Okay. So are we good saying that the Board of Health would recommend just that one piece?
Yes.
Okay. Move,
Motion. Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Special town meeting article review and vote possible. So, because the deadline for, special town meeting articles was last Friday, and we weren't gonna have a meeting, I took the liberty of writing one of these in hopes that we would approve it today. So at the annual town meeting, well, we presented a budget back in December of last year for $3,000 for the part-time wages of a clerk, which was an increase of $2,000. At the annual town meeting, what was presented to the townspeople was a budget of 3,150. No. Sorry. So what we had a budget of was 3,000. I asked for 5,000, which was an increase of 2,000. So they approved $150 more. That was supposedly going to cover the extra hours that we were hiring a clerk for. So that leaves 1,850 that is uncovered, should our clerk do 5 hours a week. So I put in, we would request that the town appropriate $1,850 to fully fund the requested FY23 Board of Health part-time wages to account for the increase in hours approved for the Board of Health clerk hired already for this position. Remarks, explanation, this position was advertised for 5 to 6 hours per week. It was appointed by the Board of Selectmen as such, but not placed on the annual town meeting to fully fund. So I would move that this be approved.
Yeah.
Maybe a
To
second,
accept. Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Budget discussion. So this here was what we submitted last year. So all boards and committees are going to be asked to present a budget for the new fiscal year.
I motion to make the font bigger next year.
We don't have to decide today, but this is just, so let's say if the special town meeting approves the 5,000, everything else would have been as we had requested. My only thought is, I think we should keep the 5,000 in that line item. But I wonder if expenses, if it doesn't have to be at the 4,500.
I was gonna say, cause look at our spending.
So as of last year, when we were doing the budget, we had only spent 2,100 of that 4,500.
Right.
And we turned in a lot, I think. So this year, on this sheet, which we get every month, it tells us that under Board of Health expenses, year to date, we spent $55,
Oh,
which was the Mass Association of Health Boards. So that leaves $4,445. So, I think we have, knowing that the town is in tight for expenses, maybe we could think about putting together what we want to spend, figuring out about how much that will cost, and then propose. I think we have to have budget in January. So at the next meeting, we'd be approving what we want to present. But that was just my initial thought. Stipends, we had gone up a couple $100, I think, the year before. But we didn't change it last year for the stipends, but wait, it says, nope. So yeah, so we'll have to think about that for the next. So if you could think about what we'd want to spend money on. But the other thing that we didn't have last year was the revolving account. We don't know how much is in our revolving account. I don't think you have that number, do you?
I could probably come up with it, but I don't have it right now.
Okay, so the accountant and the treasurer have to settle it. But all of the money that we charge that doesn't get paid to Phil goes into the revolving account, which can be used for programs, activities, things like that. So basically, we're self-sustainable. and that's, we shouldn't be charging fees unless we're gonna use those fees. So we have a $10,000 cap, I think, that we can carry up to 10,000. But that's where we could fund the recycling day. We could use all that money and not charge any
We could
resident.
also do the CPR classes for
We,
free.
right, absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
like that.
so hopefully next month we'll have what's in the revolving account so that we know how much potentially we would need in expense line. But let's say we had an issue with trash and we wanted to pay to get a dumpster. That's where we would need that expense line.
Mhm.
So we definitely want to leave something in there. Okay, anything else on the budget discussion? 2022-23 annual report. This is last year's report, two-sided. We're supposed to present this by December 1st. So if you could, because we're not allowed to discuss anything outside of a meeting, if you could send ideas that you think should be in this report on what we did from July 1st of 22 through June 30th of 23. That's what gets put on this report. And so this is a sample. And Kylie's going to work on the total number of permits that we issued during that fiscal year. Otherwise, we could always schedule a Zoom meeting to approve the report that we submit.
Okay.
Okay. So any other new business? Okay, old business, ARPA funds. So we've talked about this a few times that the Board of Selectmen earmarked $10,000 for Board of Health for infrastructure. And I had suggested getting a trailer. So are we all still good with that?
Mhm.
So Kylie, could you do some research on trailers? I think there's a place in Leominster.
What kind of trailer?
Like enclosed?
Yeah,
Okay.
like 10 feet by 6 by 10 or something like that. And then we could actually put all of we've got tables and chairs and canopies.
Live here?
And either live here, live at the fire station, police station. And then if we ever had to go somewhere, like for a shelter or something like that, we have it all.
What about insurance on it?
Like it would fall under the town. I don't know how they would allocate their cost to us, but could come out of our expenses. It gets registered, but I don't think they charge municipal for a plate. But I was looking and they're like $6,000 to $8,000. So, and if we had to supplement it with our expense line. So hopefully we can get that going. And I don't think there's anything else that we talked about for that. Review of 21 Coldbrook Road. So,
Do we need to vote on that?
no, I think because we had already authorized that in the past. But I'm just asking if Kylie could kind of do some research and see what's out there, and I'll do it too. 21 Coldbrook Road, letters went to all the neighbors with the how to mitigate rodents. And a certified letter was sent to the homeowner of 21 Coldbrook, which was signed for and returned. But we have not received any other update from Lester on this issue. And no one is here from Lester. So I will reach out to Trevor and ask him if he's heard of anything. And then in the letter that was sent, it clearly stated what the next steps were going to be. So we'll have to wait on that. There was any other conversation about that? There was a vaccine clinic for flu at the senior center that Lester helped to organize with the BNA Care. And there were 27 people that came to that. And then there was a vaccine clinic for COVID and flu that was held in North Brookfield that Oakham residents were invited to. I think I was the only one that went to that. So any other old business?
Nope.
Okay, clerk report.
Sorry, back to
Yep.
the old business.
Yep.
What happened with this getting to be CPR instructors? Because I never got an email about it. Remember I said you were like, oh, it should be in your email. I never got anything.
You got into your email?
Yeah,
Okay.
nothing was in there.
I will process. Did you get it?
I'm gonna let her get certified.
Okay.
Pretty good at it.
Yeah, so I can go in and maybe see if I can redo it. Because it's something you have to do. You just have to basically send a copy of your resume.
I didn't get a thing to say, hey, send your resume, and I just filled out that initial
Oh.
thing.
Then that should have been it.
Yeah, no, nothing. So I'm all set though?
No, you would have gotten an approval.
Never did.
So there is a number for ECSI
Okay.
that you
Will
could
email it
call.
to me?
Huh?
I said, will you email it to me?
Okay, yeah, but you got the original email
I
that said
did,
fill it
yeah.
out, so it's in there.
All right, I'll find it.
So yes. All right, Kylie presented the deposits and the payables. We had an installer license, for septic, plan review, waste management paid for their 2023 trash haulers, and then they had paid for their 2022
Yeah.
the previous month. So they're all caught up now. Now we just will need their 2024. And Maple Street had some stuff, East Hill Road as well. So we took in 1,030 and we paid out 900 to the agent. Any questions on that?
No, do you need me for anything else? I have to, sorry.
No, I think since there's you don't have anything else, Kylie?
No, there are really no correspondences either.
Okay. Any public comment? No? Okay. I think we're done unless anybody else has anything.
I hate to keep changing the time, but can we do 5:15 or do we think that the half an hour is enough? I mean, that was 1:20.
It's not really a half an hour. We have 20 minutes if it's at 5.
That was 20.
Because we have to get the
Do you
schools.
want to do
I can do
5:15?
5:15.
5:15?
So when would the next meeting be?
Give you the date. Let me be of assistance, please. Thank you. Oh, well, it would be the 20th. Do we really want to do the 20th?
I mean.
It's fine.
It would be
Right here.
Wednesday, the
Or
20th.
we could do the 13th.
13th sounds. I would rather do the 20th because I'm on vacation that week, but I don't care.
Are you having your class that night?
Yes, but we could do 5:15. Is that possible for everyone?
On the 20th? Do that? And it shouldn't be a whole lot. Okay. But we'll have to approve potentially this. So if we end up having to have a meeting before that, it may not be necessary to have a meeting. So move we adjourn?
You don't have to adjourn because of me.
What?
You guys can talk about how stuff all night.
I want to go too.
Okay, second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That concludes the meeting. It is 5:51.
Yay, good work, go team.